Everybody, G Bear here with another installment of Homesteading the Desert, March 19th, 2018. And I got a few things done. I'm sorry I haven't posted for a while, but I'm in the process of moving all of my stuff up from the OC to here. And it's just busy, busy, busy constantly. Anyway, I want to show you here, right there at the top of the stairs on the railing, I mounted a 55-watt solar panel. And I don't know if you can hear it. I'll bring this closer. But I've got a 500 gallon per hour bilge pump wired into that, going down into the tank, and it's all the way down here at the bottom area. So as the tank goes down, it still stays inside the water. And what that's doing is it's moving my water around inside of the container so that the chlorine treatments don't settle out of it. I want to keep the treatment up and make sure my water stays usable. So anyway, I wanted to start with that part. You can see the back side of my solar panel here, and right now I've got it just wire nutted together. I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting a switch in there, and then maybe mounting the switch right here on the side of the stairway, so I can come over and flip it off if I want to, if I feel it's been running too long. As long as the sun is hitting that solar panel and it's not behind a cloud, I've just watched it. If it goes behind a cloud, the pump will shut off. But as long as the sun is hitting it, the pump keeps on running. And I set it in such a position so that it's going to run most of the day, probably starting around 10 or 11 in the morning and going until 6 p.m. I think that'll probably be about all I'm going to get out of it. And that's the first thing I did. And I just went and got my covered microphone here and my earbuds, because the wind was gusting and my turbine over there was spinning like crazy. As soon as I picked up the microphone and stepped outside of the cabin, it all calmed down again. Okay, another thing I did was I had acquired a 20-pound bag of grass seed that grows anywhere. That's what they claim. It's going to grow anywhere. And you see the green on the ground there, that is grass seed. And I sprinkled it all through the orchard here, because what that'll help do is it'll help keep the ground from drying out too quick if the grass starts growing up, and it'll hold moisture into the ground. So hopefully that stuff will take. I also did it all the way around the motorhome and all down into the area there. And I was talking to Andy. Andy was up here helping me move. We brought up a trailer load, a van load, and his pickup truck load. And I got everything unloaded this morning. He had to go home. He wasn't feeling very well, and I hope he gets better, so he can come out here and just relax for a couple of weekends. And anyway, I got all of that area out there is all seeded with grass. And then I seeded all the way around the cabin and see if any grass comes up from there. It's kind of like walking barefoot in the grass. It feels good on the feet. And I don't have anything showing any sprouts on anything at all, except, look over here. My cloud potatoes come back, and it's doing really well there. Look at that thing. It's coming up good, so I'm going to have some potatoes in this container pretty soon, and that's a plus in my favor, because I love potatoes of all kinds. I like yellow, I like gold, I like the russets, I like the reds, I like the sweets, you name it. If it's a potato, I'll eat it. Okay, the grapevine, it may be dead also, because I'm not seeing any buds on it. But I did start another one down at the OC, and I have it in a pot ready, and it has buds on it already. So that's not coming up here until I build my garden house so I can keep the critters out of it. Now, I was going to do the garden house here, but I noticed that this time of year, as the sun sets over that way, it gets down behind those containers and the cabin, and it casts a very long shadow that goes straight out that way, right across that area. So starting around 4:30 in the afternoon, I lose the sunlight over here, and I want the most sunlight I can get from my growing season. So I'm going to change that, and I'm going to put my chicken coop there instead, and I'll have my big chicken run. And that's why I seeded that with grass seed. I know chickens like to peck at the grass, and it'll all be gone in no time as they start pecking at it. But heck, I had the grass seed, may as well do it. And that'll give them a nice big, I'll give them the back end of the chicken coop up this end, so that it faces, the back of it faces the wind side. And then I'll have a big chicken run running out that way so that they can move around out there and be happy. And as they get used to the place, I'll let them out during the day and let them just roam around the compound here. All right, I picked up some more rock. That's why you see the tracks here when I was out cleaning up the desert today, because we had some hellacious winds, and we did get some rain since that last rainstorm where I was showing you my rain collector. I got up here with this next load, and the rain collector, the whole pole was leaning over like that, and the jar was empty. So that one over there was the same thing. It was leaning way over. So a good big gust of wind or a microburst came through and knocked those things over. But what Andy and I did notice is this is the level in the water barrel now. When we left last week, it was down here. That's way up there. So we got a lot. The other one actually is overflowing. It overflowed onto the ground. And that one is completely full right to the top. So I got plenty of water there. There's 110 gallons between these two barrels, but we're going to have a big storm coming in this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they're talking about 4 to 6 inches of rain, 2 to 4 in some areas. They were saying this morning up to 1 inch an hour. That's going to be a lot of rain. And if that comes down, well, these barrels are going to be overflowing. But I've got no place to put the extra water. So the water's going to overflow. That's the choice it has. I'll have to find myself some more barrels and get those all rigged up for next rainy season. We start spring this week, and we'll be starting to go into the warmer weather. Although I said it before, way back in November, this is one of those weird years. We didn't get any rain all the way through until March or April, and then right now, March or April is when we're getting the rain, and we're getting a lot of it. And I can imagine that things are going to get pretty green out here pretty soon. I'm seeing green starting to sprout out here and there, stuff like that. But, okay, enough rambling. Another thing I did was I brought out my Samsung TV, which has got a great picture, and it's a really nice TV. And I hooked that up in the cabin, and I took the little 12-volt DC TV out of there. That's going to go into the motorhome or the guest room motorhome. And the other TV, I found the problem we couldn't get good reception on it is that the antenna connection in the TV is broken, and I'm not getting the full reception in that TV. But this one, when I ran this one, I ended up with 32 channels instead of 29. And the other DC channel gets 29 channels. So I got some extra channels here, and that's a plus in my favor. I don't need to go in and show you a TV. I'm sure you all know what a TV looks like. That's about it. I'm going to relax here for the rest of the day, get things closed up, and then I've got some other chores to do tomorrow around here, and get some more things done and get ready. I got clean up this mess over here and get things sorted out and stacked properly so I can find what I need while I need it. And I'm going to have to clean that area out there because I'm going to be bringing up a sub panel off of the main panel in the cabin and trenching underground here and running a conduit and pulling some number 6 wire and da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's it. G Bear signing off from another episode of Homesteading the Desert.